So, Blazers versus Nuggets series preview. I think this should definitely be a very entertaining series. Two very good offensive teams. The Nuggets, the 3 seed, the Blazers, the 6 seed. The Nuggets finished with a 47-25 record, whereas the Blazers were 42-30. And the Nuggets won the season series 2-1. They played on the last day, but the Nuggets weren't really trying. And these two teams have played before in a playoff series. Back in 2019, the Blazers won a quite incredible series 4-3 in the Western Conference semifinals. And the teams, they're still pretty similar. Obviously, some differences, but it's a good measuring stick, that series, as well as the multiple matchups since. So the Nuggets are without Jamal Murray, which obviously sucks, but they've been playing without him for a bit. And then Will Barton, he's out right now, but he could come back. And then PJ Dozier is also, I think, day-to-day. So a few injuries for the Nuggets. They're a bit banged up, whereas the Blazers are fully healthy apart from Zach Collins. They have Nurkic back, and they've been playing very well recently. The Nuggets are 7th in offense, 12th in defense, and 27th in pace, whereas the Blazers are 2nd in offense, 29th in defense, but that is a lot higher recently, and also with Nurkic on the court, so they're not that bad defensively, and 19th in pace. So two very good offensive teams, especially the Blazers, whereas the Nuggets have good balance, and they obviously have Jokic. So if we talk about the Nuggets offense versus the Blazers defense, it's going to be a lot of Jokic, of course. He's had to do more without Jamal Murray, whether it's him bringing the ball up or setting screens, just passing, the Nuggets ball movement. I think that's going to be big in this series, and it's a big part of their offense. I think Jokic's 3 is also very important, because if you can draw Nurkic out and open up the paint and kill the Blazers on pick and pops, I think that could really, really, really be beneficial to the Nuggets, and I think they really need that. Obviously, without Jamal Murray, Jokic needs to take on a bigger scoring load, and I think he's certainly capable, and he's proven he's capable. And then someone else who's really stepped up is Michael Porter Jr. I have a whole video on him, but how he can get points off ball in the flow of the offense, he's going to have to do that. And then I think he's also going to have to do a little bit off the dribble. Late shot clock situations in the playoffs, that becomes more important, creating off the dribble. And I think he's capable, and he has such a nice jump shot and has such natural scoring ability that I think he'll be able to do that, which is good for the Nuggets, because they need some creation without Jamal Murray. And then apart from that, Monte Morris, PJ Dozier, Facundo Campazzo, Barton if he's back, Gordon, maybe just space the floor, making the right cuts, scoring in the paint. I think getting a lot of points in the paint is going to be key for the Nuggets. And then also just having the paint open with their 3-point shot. I think that's going to be what's required from the Nuggets role players. They do have weaker guard play without Murray, but as I said, Porter Jr. Can certainly replace some of that, and Monte Morris is still also a good scorer. And then, so off ball is also going to be important, cutting and getting points in the paint, as I mentioned. That's going to be what the Nuggets offense is. And then as for how the Blazers will deal with that, they're obviously not a very good defensive team, but if Lillard is guarding PJ Dozier and McCollum is guarding Campazzo and Powell is guarding Aaron Gordon, I don't think it's the end of the world. And that would be beneficial, because it would allow Covington to guard Michael Porter Jr. and Nurkic to guard Jokic. So the Blazers' 2 best defensive players, Covington and Nurkic, can guard the Nuggets' 2 best offensive players. So a good matchup there, though. Jokic is still going to have success against Nurkic, and Porter Jr. is still going to have success against Covington. What they could do is maybe put Powell on Michael Porter Jr. and have Covington as more of a help defender, help protect the paint, guard Aaron Gordon, and prevent off-ball cuts and stuff like that. And I think that can help them out. And then with Nurkic guarding Jokic is going to have success against any center in the NBA. My worry is Jokic for the Blazers is that Jokic is killing them from 3, and Nurkic really has to step up on him, and then Jokic has that pump fake and go, and he's just killing the Blazers that way. So I think the Nuggets will be able to score even without Murray. But I also think the Blazers can do a decent job defensively. If we talk about the Blazers offense, they obviously have the three guards, Dame, CJ, and Powell. And it's going to be a lot of Dame pick and roll. And I think they're going to be attacking Jokic, getting him tired. Jokic's conditioning has improved, and his defense has too, but he's still not a great defender. And I think they can have success, whether it be with the great chemistry that Dame has with Nurkic, getting a screen as soon as he crosses half court, and having success there where he can get downhill and attack the rim and create shots for others. Again, also late shot clock, Dame and CJ are two of the best. Whether it be tough mid-rangers or step-back threes, they can do that. And then Powell attacking off of what Dame and CJ do. I'll be interested to see if the Nuggets double Dame at all. I mean, sure, they'll do it sometimes. I'll sure they'll blitz the pick and roll a little bit. Or if they just try and go over, because it's really a lose-lose. Because if you double him, he can find CJ or Powell, and they can drive and shoot. But if you're just singling him and you're going over, you're letting him get inside where he's so dangerous at dishing or finishing around the rim. So I think the Blazers can have a lot of success with the Dame pick and roll. And then, CJ and Powell creating off of that. I'm sure they're going to stagger those three a little bit, so it's never like Anthony Simons running the offense. Not that that's the worst thing in the world, but you want to have one of Dame and CJ or Powell out there so they can, control the game. And then, in the playoffs, you can play your guys high 30s, low 40s minutes. I don't see any problem with that. So I think they're going to be dynamic offensively from the guard position. And then apart from that, just having good spacing, not having anyone they can ignore out there. I think they're pretty good with Nurkic standing in the dunker spot or setting screens, and Covington being a decent three-point shooter. The depth of the Blazers isn't great, but if you have Anthony Simons who's hitting his threes and Derrick Jones Jr., I think they can just get enough out of their bench. And then obviously having the starters play heavy minutes that they'll be able to survive. But that could be a little bit of a weak spot. But the Nuggets bench, with the loss of Jamal Murray, everyone moves up a little bit in the rotation. So not great depth from either side in this series. I think it's really just going to come down to the starters. I think both teams are going to have success offensively, which should lead to a very high-scoring series like it was the last time. If we think of a prediction, I think it's going to be a close series. I think both teams are going to be able to score, and neither defense is going to be great. And I'm just going to edge towards the Blazers in 7. I could really see this going either way, but I think the Blazers have enough to outscore the Nuggets, and I think they're a bit more experienced, and I think the loss of Jamal Murray is really going to hurt the Nuggets. Just that extra shot creation, it's very reasonable. You lose your second best player and you're not as good, and it's a bit unfortunate, but I still think it's going to be a tight series. But I just think Dame is going to have a lot of success. He is a good playoff performer, especially recently. We saw what he did to the Thunder in the first round, and then I also think CJ McCollum can have a lot of success. Playing off of what Dame does, but also bringing the ball up himself. He played really, really well in that 7-game series 2 years ago. And then just having Powell also, I think they just have too much offensively. That I'm going to go with the Blazers in 7 in a really tight series. Just being able to outscore them with having Dame and all that. But I could also see Jokic going crazy and the Nuggets offense really flowing, and them rotating, and Aaron Gordon playing really good defense, that they could win. But I'm going to take the Blazers. Anyways, thanks for watching this video, guys. Leave a like, subscribe to this channel for more NBA content, and I'll see you guys next time.